Hello, Central Mafia. Is it still okay to say Happy New Year? Happy New Year, happy 2026. I am so excited to be back doing these live streams. It feels like forever that we've been uh, online and having all these sessions. It was just last year. I mean, it was really not that bad. But so happy to kick off the 2026 live stream series. And as our tradition continues, when we start the year, we bring the PitchIT winner from last year. So today, I am so happy to have Alex with us. We're going to talk about him, the journey, and how is he impacting the life of vCIOs, building QBRs, and therefore impacting MSPs in what's that journey looks like for 2026. So before we bring him in, there's always our housekeeping items. Sean is MIA, so he might jump in. So we might see him. So it's either be really good or bad. We won't say which one's which. So if you're familiar with the Central Mafia, welcome back. If you are not, if this is the first time you are watching our live stream, the Central Mafia is an MSP partner-led community. So we're built by MSPs for MSPs, and our intention is to bring MSPs together through education. What we want everybody is to come through our different channels, be able to engage via chat, via LinkedIn, through our live events, and collaborate. Make also this is we're leading this with your help, so make sure that you make suggestions. Let us know what you want to see. That's how we have been growing. That's what everything that we have planned for 2026 is based on feedback from everybody. And the cool thing about this is you're going to network and make some great connections. And at the end, you're going to end up making great friends that are going to help you through your journey. How do you do that? There's several channels. One of them is through our Slack channel, where you can stay up to date on what is happening, ask any questions to the community. If you want to know where we're going to be at, what our live stream schedule looks like, what's coming up this month, the next month, LinkedIn is the way to do that. And all of our content is posted on YouTube. So we're live streaming right now to LinkedIn and YouTube, and there will be a repository in there. So if you think that this was the best live stream you've seen this year, and you want to share that with somebody, just send them to this place, and they will be able to see it. We also have a monthly newsletter. In there, we share all of our upcoming events, all of the community updates, vendor spotlight, partner spotlights, and everything related to the Central Mafia. And as well, we have our live streams and open mics. And today we'll have our partner with us, and they are on Thursdays, 3 to 4. The open mics are amazing as well, so you can just come in. There's no set topic. We just get together, ask questions, and we'll see where it takes us. Speaking of live events, I wasn't speaking about it, but since I mentioned it, we have expanded. Check it out. Central Mafia is going to the West Coast. So we'll have that on April. But before I talk about that one, let's talk about this happening first. So March 19 is our first 2026 meetup for the Central Mafia. Going back to Burr Ridge, going back to Chicago, same place. If you've seen it or if you've been there, we got it. All right. So we're going to be there on March 19th. March 18th, pre-day, networking event. We're still going to have do something fun over there, so you can come down, join us, relax, make those connections and get ready for March 19th. And then in the next month, on April 16th, we will be going to the Marriott, Anaheim Marriott Suites in Anaheim. So we'll be joining our Aaron and Keith are helping us with that. So shout out to them. And we're growing, and we're going to LA, baby. So we'll see you there. Very excited to see you. And then just look forward. We'll be back in Chicago then on in September, and then in October we'll be back in California. So more to come with that. The way to find out: LinkedIn, Slack, check out our newsletter. All right, we couldn't do this without the support, great support of all of our sponsors. Community, all these events are free for the MSP, so thank you for our sponsors for helping us through put all these events together, helping out with the content and everything that we provide to you guys. So thank you so much, ConnectWise, Pivotal Crew, Help, FEMA, Mobilize Saint-Tion, and Exemplify for all of your support. So there. So today, like I said, I was super excited. We have this. We created this uh, tradition, like I said earlier. On every January, we bring the winner of the pitches. So today we have Alex from Strategy Overview. Alex is CEO. He's very passionate about what MSPs do, and he helps them elevate, the role of the vCIO by helping them provide strategic alliances with their partners. Now, Strategy Overview, that's what they do. That's how they focus. They have been helping MSPs, transform that approach by just simplifying the way we do it. So let's learn more about that. Let's bring Alex into. There he is, big winner.
How's it going? Look at this belt.
Holding that. There you go. See, we were talking about how we were gonna all the different ways we were gonna showcase that belt. We want to walk with music. I see from the back. We put on the back. That just looks amazing. Congratulations once again, Alex, for
Thank you, Juan.
And everything that you have been doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, super excited to have you. So first of all, I know I did a little quick intro. I probably didn't do it justice. So how about you tell us a little bit more about yourself and Strategy Overview, what you guys been doing?
Yeah, so my background in this tech starts when my dad got me a computer in the early 90s. It was a Windows 3.1. I became a techie on the early days of CompuServe. Then I used to run home and get on AOL and go through the dial-up wars. If anybody remembers that, and you have to keep trying to dial in and
the annoying sound,
change the numbers. Yeah, you get the busy signals, and and then just became a person that in my life was like technology was one of my magic powers. Right, people knew that I knew technology. I got into the early days of web, and then in college, and I started doing just helping people with tech, and then started helping companies with tech, launch a lot of early websites, early versions of email systems, Exchange, all that stuff, and from there, and it was never really a plan to get into technology. It was just a passion, and then I started after I graduated. I started working in doing this full time. And I got pulled into a user group. I got some kind of email notification through the Northeastern user group, the ConnectWise group over up there. I drove up to Rhode Island, and I met ConnectWise, and all of these different MSPs. For the first time ever, it opened up my eyes to the broader world of technology, right? Because I was just doing small projects, building a small firm, right? And after getting ConnectWise, getting in the concept of managed services, doing a migration of the company to managed services, I very quickly realized, started listening to people like Paul Dipple, right, saying that standardization, 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 and learned about, went through ConnectWise Evolve, got into SLI benchmarking, went through Sleek, right? Started really analyzing the business not just as a tech, but as how to build a business, right? And partially it was because our team needed careers, right? Our clients needed a mature partner, and we needed, and I needed to build a life. So um, I wound up getting married and having kids while I was involved, and really building a life and a career for many families, right? So, but when we started switching to managed services and realized that we needed to standardize our stack, we needed a process for it. And there was no apps back then. In the early days of managed services, it was
Yep.
there was just no apps. You kind of did it with Excel and or ad
Yep.
hoc, or didn't do
Bring
it at
bring all
all.
that information into whatever format you
Yeah.
want to spend hours on
So
it too.
yeah, yeah, and we had a number of clients that started growing really rapidly. And one thing that kind of put us on this path of strategic planning is Hurricane Sandy hit the New York market. That's where our MSP is, and a lot of businesses went down, and a lot of New York City infrastructure went down. So we wound up getting pulled into multiple clients that the city of New York said that you can't go down anymore. You need to be resilient. So we happened to win a couple of those accounts, and we needed a process to standardize them, give them a vision. They were asking us every quarter, "What's next? What's next?" Like we would standardize all their servers, do their backups, get their network clean. Well, what's next, right? So I started doing this process on a spreadsheet in the early 2010s, um, of just basically standardizing the entire stack, and then it transformed into having a full budget and a roadmap and all these other components. But when we started scaling and hiring additional vCIOs that would run this process, and it just wasn't scalable. It, like a small process that we did when we had like 20, 30 clients was not scalable when we had like 80 or 100 clients, right? And we had two people doing strategic assessments. So I happen to be lucky that I have a brother that is a software developer in the Fortune 500 financial services world for the last 20 years, and we got together. We built a first version for the RMSP, and it saved me hundreds of hours that first year as a vCIO. And then we were part of ConnectWise Evolve. A bunch of our peer group members started using our product. And in 2017, we spun it off as a standalone company. But those first early years, it still was just a very basic assessment product, right? And then we realized that our initial success was actually a kind of held us back a little bit, because we had a lot of MSPs just jump on the platform day one when we just launched it to like the community. I launched it during an IT Nation breakout session, and from that point on, it was very difficult to make changes to the system because it was never designed for mass scale, right? So 3, 4 years ago, we kind of sat back, rebuilt the system from scratch, moved everyone over, started building integrations, started building our AI agent, um, and when we applied for PitchIT, and then won last year. So it was really an amazing journey in the last 20 years, going from a techie to an MSP to then trying to run a high operation mature MSP, and then going into software, helping MSPs do vCIO at scale, do QBRs at scale, and then build really stronger strategic relationships with customers.
Awesome. I love that story. How you how you actually started feeling that pain, try to find that solution like many people do, many MSPs, do. And then how you were able to develop that through community, right? Just being part of Evolve and seeing the things how you do it. And it's like, wow, this is really cool. It's almost like the ConnectWise story when you hear it, like, we're an
Yeah.
MSP, they were just an MSP that had a problem. And look at them now. They developed this thing that everybody else um, wanted to use, and it has the way it has evolved. So congrats on that. That is fantastic. So
Thank
what
you.
what was the so you're talking about winning the pitch it. So if you want to summarize strategy overview, what was your pitch? What was that pitch that you were providing everybody?
So my pitch was freedom for MSPs, freedom from having a bad stack, freedom from spending too much time uh, on standardizing your clients and delivering Excel spreadsheets with asset lists and office lists, and like, because MSPs are often in a reactive hurricane, they're not their lives are difficult to control because they're constantly being firefighters, right?
Hmm.
So what we built is ability for MSPs to get control of their strategic initiatives with their clients, to grow their MSP more professionally and quicker, and really just to get freedom. Because I used to do QBRs, and when I did them manually, putting together a spreadsheet and a budget, and then exporting an asset list from LabTech, and then and trying
Hmm.
to get it all organized, and the formulas would break, and I would get home late at like 8 o'clock, and I had a young daughter at that time, and it was really hard to miss a lot of time with family. But by streamlining this process, you can knock out now, get ready for a QBR in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's amazing.
No, I've been there. I mean, we said like pulling, a report from lab tech, and then just having to build all that information, and not only the time that you spend on that, but how do you actually deliver that to the client so that so you're actually providing value, right?
Yeah.
I, I know that a lot when we're talking about like QBRs, within an MSP space, a lot of times they were like, "Well, we're just meeting to tell them what the things that we've done. These are the tickets that we resolved." I was like, "Okay, that's what we're paying you for." So it's not really the value that you want to provide the client. So it takes a lot of data gathering, and thought process, um, to be able to provide that to a client. So making that easier, and like you earlier you said, like starting to standardize that, it is a total game changer for the MSP. Obviously, each MSP will add their own flavor, but that data and
Mhm.
that way to present that to the client, it is really where the value is. That's the goal right there. So have you seen, like, in your experience, and have you been working with Evolve members and partners, and now all your current clients, like how's that evolved? Talking about like that evolution of QBRs and MSPs and vCIOs, like how has that evolved over the past couple of years, and how do you see it like in the future? Like what are our clients expecting to see?
Mhm. Yeah, so it all started with stack standardization, but it's definitely evolved now to IT leadership. So it's beyond customer success and account management, is really being the quarterback of the technology strategy for businesses. I think that that's the major role of MSPs into the future, right? It's not just about setting up Wi-Fi networks, Wi-Fi and networks, and Office 365 tenants and all that stuff. That's just standard, right? The next generation of this is, how do you integrate everything? How do you manage the life cycle of the entire tech stack beyond hardware, but software, ERP, everything? How do you manage the AI world? How do you manage agents? Essentially, MSPs are going to be agent managers. Right? They're going to have agents as a service, and they're going to manage them like they're going to be the HR of AI. Like the actual managers, trainers, organizers, of the AI agents of the future. So by positioning the MSP as really a strategic guide, and having a platform that can organize the whole plan and take all of the data that we have as MSPs, from IT Glue, from ConnectWise, from Office 365, and curate it and stream only the essential pieces into one clean single pane of glass platform. That's magic. And then the difference between our platform and a lot of other platforms, like even like ConnectWise, for example, is every every user has their own set of columns, and every user has their own flavor. In Strategy Overview, you define the standard that you want all your vCIOs to operate under. All your clients are viewed through one lens. You can customize each client, add custom items or remove items that are not relevant for them, but you basically set like the perfect template on how do you want to look at a client. And then once you have that data, then you build a plan. So a couple years ago, we launched our plan module, which gives you a place. It's like an open canvas of tasks where you can organize and prioritize your plan, your vision for the client. So as soon as you onboard a client, or even before onboarding, you could do paid assessments with our product with Strategy Overview. But as soon as you onboard a client, the vCIO starts this quarterbacking role. And then he starts prioritizing what needs to happen first, what's second, what's third, and really look at like 12 to 24 months out, and then just keep that vision going. And that is massive impact for the clients. The clients that I ran this process on and that our MSPs run this process on, they grow much faster because they become market leaders. They outperform their peers. They become better companies. So, and they become better companies, then they wind up growing faster. So it's like it turns the entire relationship into a win-win-win, right?
Yep.
It's a win for MSPs, it's a win for clients, and it's a win for those clients' customers because everyone has interacted with a company that doesn't have their tech game together, right? So that this helps every company evolve.
Yep. You mentioned something like very important is when you talk about like the relationship between the MSP and the partner. Because I mean, if we look at the world MSPs, how we all trying to grow is not for just bringing more clients in, but it's that retention piece,
Mhm.
right?
And
And
growing the clients.
yes, and growing the clients. So, and that
Yeah.
is that is the power. It's like once they're our client, we need to help them grow, and by providing all those services and guiding them in from a leadership IT leadership perspective, in that journey. So it's that partnership, not only to like I said, to make the clients better, but as MSPs also to continue continue to grow. So if we wanted to say like, okay, if we want everybody who's watching to just to close their eyes and see and say, if I am using strategy overview, how does that look like? Like, what does the platform look like? When it comes to the ease of building the QBRs, also like the ability for the clients to see certain information from from the client portal perspective. Like, what are all the things that MSPs can see by using the platform?
So we're really proud of our UI. We've spent a ton of time thinking about how to make it clean, how to make it fast, just down to the pixel. We are obsessive with getting the app beautiful and right and not cluttered with stuff. So by an MSP logs on and they get our template out of the box. We also have a really easy model where they can start with 3 accounts for free and they can just do basic assessments. And the terms are month to month. So it's very easy. And an MSP can jump from a 3 client plan to a 5 client plan and up. And they just upgrade without even having to speak to sales. So it's very convenient. But as they jump on the platform, they get our template that we built. Our template has all the items that any MSP needs to analyze, basically any client. You can use this template on an enterprise grade client or a single person startup. And every item on there was added by us at one point because I could tell a story about every single item on there. Right? It's a real battle tested template process, right? I think we're one of the only apps out there that does this type of thing that comes from a tier one MSP that has run like over 1,000 QBRs. This is a real battle tested template. So then you get that template, basically a shortcut. You can shortcut 10 years of evolution just by getting our template. And then you start doing an assessment and you start doing a plan. Now we have easy guides and good webinar content on how to become an vCIO, how to adopt the vCIO process. And then one thing that we've had great success with is we launched the vCIO Mastery Program, which essentially is like a master class to teach MSPs all the lessons that we've learned,
Hmm.
help adopt that into their business. So by running the assessment, then building a plan, then it exports it out. There's an online presentation mode. So an MSP can run a meeting on Zoom or Teams, and it basically turns into like a PowerPoint. They can edit it on the fly in that mode, or then afterwards, they could send it as a PDF to the client in a beautiful PDF, and you control every part that you want to show. But we've gone beyond the PDF. What we started building a couple years ago is a client portal. So it's a fully brandable client portal that we've replaced the ConnectWise portal and things like Cloud Radio and other things, and just um, basically have one clean client portal that clients can log in and see their strategy, see their plan, see all their office licenses, see all their assets, see their budget, and it's the domain is 100% white label, the favicon, the wallpapers, the colors. I mean, it's like I wish this was in place when I was a vCIO 10 years ago, because my job would have been so much easier and I would have been able to scale much higher.
Awesome. Tell me about, I might be butcher the name, Aria.
Yes, Aria.
How does Aria help vCIOs be better?
So we started working on Aria a couple years ago. There's a number of functions that she's doing. One, she's a chatbot in the app that is MSP trained. So essentially like a chat GPT subscription, but that answers crisp, bullet list, like very organized data. So here's a use case. If you're planning out a camera system project, you can ask Aria, hey Aria, can you get me plan out a camera system project with 60 cameras that I need to record continuously for 30 days at 4K video, and I want to do hike vision, and it's some of the cameras are going to be outdoors. Ario put together the entire project scope and recommend all the models. Like that's pretty cool. And then just have a co-pilot in there. Aria also will fill out your entire assessment. You can ask her individual questions. When she does it, she looks at you. Every item has a health standard. So you define like, I want my firewalls to be this. I want my switches to be this. I don't want QuickBooks versions built behind, 2023. You come up with a standard for every item. It comes with our template out of the box, but you can customize it for your MSP. And then once you connect IT Glue and ConnectWise data, Aria will see what you have for every item and she'll fill it out. So that's what we're really building is I believe that MSPs are spending way too much time on all this manual stuff of compiling Excel spreadsheets and Office 365 licenses, and vCIOs are answering silly billing questions when they should be quarterbacking the strategy. They should be helping the clients evolve. So by having Aria fill out the whole assessment for you, I believe that every MSP should be able to cut their QBR and vCIO prep time down by about 90%. That is powerful because the amount of time that MSPs are spending on that and vCIOs are spending on that is way too much. And the vCIOs in every MSP are really some of the most senior, highly compensated people
Mhm.
that have the highest burden rates. And they're sometimes spending time putting together Excel spreadsheets with asset lists because things just don't. There's not an easy way to just see it all. So, but by training customers to log in and get their own asset lists, and that's a huge time savings right there. And on top of that, by having this platform that is used on enterprise companies, and with our template, they can shortcut the entire process and they can start attracting more mature customers, getting into co-managed. Like a big chunk of our MSP growth was co-managed clients.
Mhm.
And they were constantly, they wanted the data. We give them access to the ConnectWise portal and IT Glue's portal, but it's all like disjointed. It's all from different places. Now customers, and that if you have a co-managed client, they can log in and see everything, all their tickets, all their assets. I mean, it really is special. So that helps MSPs evolve, attract better customers, and move forward quicker.
I love that, especially now when we see a lot when AI started coming out, right? A lot of the software company was like with AI, and at the beginning, I always saw people was like, there should always be a follow up question, like, "Wow, how are you using AI to
Mhm.
to solve that?" And I mean, I think like you bring all that expertise from being an MSP, being a vCIO, and knowing what kind of information you need. And I mean, I'm going to steal this from somebody else, but information is what fuels AI, right? Is a fuel for us.
Mhm.
So if you have the right information and with your experience where that information resides, and then building an AI platform around that is trained to do that, and then retrieve that information, make your make the your job a lot easier, saving you hours, um, and just building all these reports in order to provide quality and grow your grow your business. So I love it. That's why I needed to ask about the RS. I saw it and just like elaborate a little bit more on that. So that is fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons we want to pitch it is just because this doesn't exist anywhere today in our vision. It's not
Yeah.
just that AI is saving hours today and our template is saving hours today, but it's the concept that we have a vision that we know that what real MSPs struggle with, right?
Hmm.
And since Strategy is a perfect curated stream of all the data that's relevant for you, then putting AI on top of that is going to create even more efficiencies in the coming years. So we have a really ambitious AI roadmap, and going to just help a lot of MSPs mature quicker.
Yeah. Now I'm going to do a little pitch for you here because I know that a lot of I think a lot of people are trying to figure out how to make AI work for them.
Mhm.
Uh, And if it's you're trying to make AI work for your QBRs and vCIO, Alex, you already have that figured out. So stop wasting time on how to do it, and then just reach out to. I encourage everybody just to reach out to you, to actually take a look. And it looks like it's easy with three. You can just have a start just with three clients. Is that correct?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's a
three
no
clients.
brainer.
Yeah.
Start in 5 minutes. If you've ever integrated anything into ConnectWise, or IT Glue or Halo or Synchro, we also integrate with ServiceNow, and Autotask. It's probably in 30 minutes you can get everything
Yeah.
streaming, and then just takes a little bit of time to curate and organize the data. And but if MSPs just focus on the fundamentals first, typically a typical MSP will generate 500,000 to $1 million in projects just by running the fundamental assessment on every client.
Yeah.
And then that will also cascade into making your clients more successful, because then they're not having random outages, right? Their networks are working faster. So then it puts MSPs into this aligned state with clients, a really kind of strategic alignment that client success becomes your success.
Absolutely. Let's talk about pitching.
Yes.
What? How did you hear about pitching? How did you woke up one day and said, "I'm going to apply"? How did you hear about it? Tell
So
us
I've
about
been going to, I think, it's my, like 14th IT Nation or something like that. So
it.
I've
Mhm.
been going to IT Nations for in the way before times. um, and so I think I didn't see the first pitches. It just I think I might have missed them. But then I saw some original companies win, and and then we started. I met them at the Solutions Pavilion, and wound up signing up with TimeZest, Traceless, different companies
Yeah.
that won. So that really provided a little bit more like legitimacy to those solutions that came out, right? And on top of legitimacy, provided that those solutions then went from smaller companies and catapulted into more mature companies, right? And they were vetted, and that was wonderful, to see a new generation of apps coming into the market, because ConnectWise and the bigger apps that we were always subscribed to, they didn't have, for example, for Traceless, engineer or client verification, right? And then be able to send links that expire. We were using like PrivNote and things like that. So by adopting some of these initial solutions, we started seeing that, oh, there's a newer ecosystem of companies. That's one thing that ConnectWise has done amazing, is
Mhm.
the amount of integration partners in the ecosystem. Apps get coded for ConnectWise first. Usually, some of the best MSPs in the world are on ConnectWise. So by seeing this evolution of new partners and new solutions partners coming about, we started paying attention to it. And then when Strategy Overview started really scaling, and I when fully into running the software component, um, we needed to compete on that same level. So we applied for PitchIt. PitchIt also gives you it's a lot of content and investment in the new partners on how to run them the SaaS product, how to position in the marketplace. There's a lot of thought leadership that went on. It was like 15 classes essentially
Yep.
on learning because I
And
I yeah I learned how to be an MSP through ConnectWise Evolve and through IT Nation, but this is almost like a parallel component, but just for solutions providers.
yeah, this is great. I mean, for MSPs or other vendors that are listening out there, they're just like you, like starting and as kind of like a startup and evolving and growing. I mean, from the MSP perspective, as they see all these products and all these solutions that integrate with ConnectWise, how are they vetted, right? So how they have to be the right solution to be able to integrate properly uh, through them. And from and as you go through this journey, is not just a competition. It's a path to for all the participants to grow their business. Um, I think it just happened to be a it just happened to be a competition, right?
Mhm.
All the participants, I think, they got great benefit out of the experience. So I think for other vendors out there, they're considering it. Uh, what would be your advice?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Do it. I will say be more ready, right? We did it 2 years. The first year we weren't as ready. The app we just had relaunched the platform. We didn't have AI, right? We didn't have as much automation in place. The platform really saved time on doing a manual assessment, but there was still stuff that was missing that we wanted to. So, but it was great to do it 2 years because we got double experience and went through the whole program. But so do it when you're ready. I've seen some solution partners do sign up for Pitch It when they're not ready at all. I think there's a maximum amount of time you can do it, and there's a time commitment, right? So get the product into some adoption, get it polished. It doesn't have to be complicated, and then definitely every app that is in the MSP space should go through Pitch It. Um, because you get a lot more attention. There's a lot of people heard our name because of Pitch It.
Hmm.
Um, and then it really helps you evolve and think about the software business more in a more mature way. And the other major component is from a networking perspective. I met a lot of the other MSP app owners, right? And now I'm in a SaaS peer group with Evolve, with other app owners, like with the guys from Huntress, SureWeb, TimeZest, and MSP CFO. And now we can collaborate and bring more solutions to the MSPs faster. So that there's a community element of it too that I think
Absolutely,
is pretty powerful.
absolutely. And who was your coach? Was it Zach?
Zach, yeah,
Zach.
he's a ball of energy.
Yes, yes, we love Zach.
Yeah,
I love Zach. He's a
yeah,
fantastic. So,
great guy.
so you not only go through this whole journey, through that whole preparation and coaching. Once the finalists are selected, then you also get that coach is going to prepare you to for the final for the final event.
And I'm
Um,
gonna be a coach this year, so
that's right.
we're gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
the
right. The
top
winners
3
become
coach
coaches. Yeah,
next, yeah,
yeah,
which is also really fun.
yeah,
But then I won't have the same pressure as I had when I was going up.
yeah. Because now, yeah, now you know the whole experience. So it's just like it's you know giving them your best advice in order to deliver and meet all the cat they have to meet a certain criteria in order to when you're on stage, right, to win, and not only just the pitch, but make sure that it's clear for MSPs, bringing value and all that. So just making sure you have that experience again, so you can prepare them. So that's awesome. How did that make you feel? Like when I was there,
Mhm.
and when they announced your name, tell me, like, what was that experience, and how was I'm sure it was a whirlwind from that the whole IT Nation, I'm sure you probably just
Oh my god, yeah.
all of a sudden became like a movie star. And after that, tell me a little bit of that experience, how that was.
Well, it was probably 10 times more stressful because I wound up flying my family out too.
Yeah.
And it all kind of snowballed. So, my daughter Juliet,
Yeah.
she when we started the app and when we started really like building it out, and she was born a year later, and um, then the pandemic hit. So she wound up, she was like going to pre-K, so she wound up just being home all the time. She would like crawl down to my office and sit on my lap while I was building the app originally. And then she used to go to onboardings, and I would do like our vCIO mastery program, and she would just be hanging out. So she really was there from the beginning and would help contribute, and was really like a major inspiration to build the app because I wanted to spend more time with her instead of doing manual QBRs. So then Juliet wound up winning. I think it was student of the month in her elementary school in first grade, and she had to give like a 10-second speech in front of the school. So brave girl, right? I don't I would never, I didn't do stuff like that at her age. So then she applied for student council, and she got elected to run her student council in second grade.
Wow.
This little character. Um, so then when she heard that I was going to IT Nation to speak, she said, "Can I come?" And I said, "Okay, yeah, absolutely." So then I'll take you to Disney afterwards. So then I brought Juliet out, and but then, I brought my wife out as well, and then my son, because everyone was coming in one shot. And then I said, "You know what, mom, you can come too." So my mom came along too, and then my brother, who's a co-founder of Strategy Overview, his daughter, who does some of our social media, and she goes to school in Tampa. Um, she wound up taking the Greyhound over. So I basically had my whole family there, um, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, but it it wound up working out. It was a surreal experience, um, and then yeah, and then into a full whirlwind of a week of just walking around with this belt, which is
Yeah.
very heavy, but I had to do it, right, because one is the champion move to do, and Sean spent the time and the money on this belt, which is it's an epic belt. Like I think it's the first year of the belt.
Yeah.
Um, so that was also pretty surreal, just walking around and everyone coming up to me, and then not just the new people, but all the MSPs that we've been working with for a number of years, people that saw me doing my initial breakout sessions at IT Nation. It, it's a lot, the community is so powerful in ConnectWise, that just being able to speak with all people that a lot of people I didn't see before, until like from before the pandemic times, right? Because I didn't do a lot of shows during pandemic. My dad wound up getting really sick, and he's all good now, but he got cancer during the pandemic, and so we were fighting the pandemic, we were fighting cancer, and so I wound up doing a lot more remote shows. Like I went to IT Nation remotely for 2 years. I didn't wind up coming on site because I was afraid to bring something back, and it
Yeah.
was choppy times those early days. Plus, my son was born 3 months after the pandemic started, so it was a little rocky there for a couple of years. But being able to see all the people again, be part of the community, kind of the last IT Nation, I think, was one of the best ones that I've seen, and that was pretty special. So it was a hurricane. I and it took me probably a month of just trying to take quiet moments to kind of shake off the adrenaline rush, because it was pretty amazing experience. And then having to go on stage at IT Nation, that was crazy too. Um, and because I used to watch Craig Fulton, and Arnie go on stage and talk about that, and then being able to go on stage and partying with Craig the night before, it was like overall a surreal experience.
Yeah. Yeah. things are different. Yeah, that's next level when for those two.
Yeah.
I would say. So congratulations, by the way, on your door. I remember her on stage. She did fantastic, and the things that she obviously that she has accomplished over. I'm sure you have a lot to do with that by her. Seeing you all the hard work that you put into your business, into your life. So uh, kudos to you as well on
Yeah,
that.
thank you. And it all came together because it was really we built it for her. So it
Yeah,
wound up like naturally complementing my presentation. And then yeah, she for anyone that hasn't seen it, there's probably YouTube videos on it. Julia gave my introduction speech.
yeah.
This little 8-year-old cutie pie girl goes up and she introduces me. Um, and then I mean that's just incredible.
Yeah, she did fantastic. She was very confident. So congrats.
She stole the show, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so anybody as far as like MSPs are listening out there, if they want to reach out to you, get started, what is the best way for them to do that?
So they go to strategyoverview.com, get a free account, you get our template, and then you can do vCIO and QBR management at scale. You get a beautiful client portal. We do asset updating and warranty updating for HP, Dell, Lenovo, Acer, Asus, and Apple, which is pretty cool. That'll sync back to your PSA. We'll do full Office 365 reporting. You can start easily. You won't have to speak to sales, and you can just upgrade with one click. It's month to month terms, and you can shortcut an entire vCIO evolution rapidly by just adopting a platform, and then get involved with us. We're building we built a vCIO mastery program. We just have somebody that just started that is leading that program now. That's helping MSPs evolve, and we're launching vCIO peer groups this summer. So, being for vCIOs to be able to collaborate with other peers and evolve and become better technology leaders. So we're really building a broader platform to help people become lead technology and lead the digital transformation journey.
Awesome. So there it is. It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. If you want to get in touch with Strategy Overview or with Alex, I think we at one point we had your LinkedIn in there. So oh, there it is.
There's
Look at
thank you,
that. Just reach out to you. I'm just putting it out there. Just reach out to Alex directly as well, or connect, follow him because obviously a lot of valuable information. And so what's for 2026? What is your big either personal or business goal that you have for this year? We can still talk about those. We're still in January, so
yeah. So we want to expand our vCIO mastery training because the app is getting more and more mature, and it saves a lot of time, but a lot of MSPs still don't know how to run vCIO properly. A lot of MSPs are still dealing with getting their data under control. So we're really helping guide lots of MSPs through this evolution process. So that's one thing that also makes Strategy Overview special is there's really leadership there to help MSPs evolve. Um, and then pulling in a lot more integrations, getting ARIA to be smarter and smarter. ARIA is in version 3 right now. So there's going to be multiple new iterations of ARIA coming out this year. So by next IT Nation, the app is going to be more robust, much faster, much cleaner. So, and we have a bunch of surprises coming up about new features that are going to launch. So we're got a very aggressive roadmap, very active development cycle, and we're fixing problems that real MSPs are dealing with every single day.
awesome. Well, I think we're almost out of time. So, Alex, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats again
Thank you.
on your fantastic journey, and then best of luck for 2026 for the all things that you got planned. I'm sure you'll accomplish that and even more. Uh,
Thank you,
so
sir.
for everybody at for Central Mafia, just a reminder: March 19th. It is our meetup over in Burr Ridge, April 16th. If you're on the West Coast, over in Anaheim. So keep an eye on the on our LinkedIn. Invitations are out. Registration is open. So hope to see everybody there. And if not, we'll be here next month on our next virtual. Thank Alex. Thank you
Thank you.
once again.
Yep. Good to
All
spend
right.
time. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye bye.